Yeah, freshman gang. This what they want, this what they want. This what they want, this what they want. Come on, jet fly, so thorough the rest lie. I'm humble, I kept quiet, I'm really the best, right? This what they want, this what they want. This what they want, this what they want. Come on, J.O.'s a fever, and they codes with a diva. He stay yo, she sweet as
I
a
drink,
fake
but I don't
good,
really
that
drink,
weed
so
smoke.
I'm not really a drinker. Yeah. Oh, I thought I heard you say this before. I said, oh no, good looking, I'm thirsty.
All right, we're rolling. So, for those of you that have seen the show before or have seen us out shooting before, you may have seen me, but you've always seen me behind this camera, and people know me as the cameraman. But really, I'm the producer, editor, whatever else has to be done to get this show on the air. And now that we're online, we've changed the name to Street Journal Online. Thanks everybody that's stuck with us. I'm sitting here in the basement, and I was told there's no name for this studio with Tariq Abdul Salam, right?
Yep, lyrical time bomb.
And
Jean Quillis.
John Pullis.
Jean Quillis.
Okay, and just to get out there, Tariq, what's the name of your label? You have a record label, as I understand.
No, actually, I'm independent. I've worked with several people, never signed anything. But I just put out a project maybe a month ago in affiliation with Producers United. And it's
Okay.
called The Dichotomy, produced by The Savage out of Virginia. Check it out.
Now, what studio was I in on Black Rock? Weren't you guys on
That was Shawboy Records.
Okay, Shawboy Records. That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking. Tell me about Shawboy Records.
Shawboy was a upstart from my brother S Love, aka Rafiq Shaw, and he pretty much put the groundwork in, laid the foundation for his for him as an artist. I don't know if you knew, but he was pretty big in the '90s with Poverty. You know, they had 3 Buffalo Music Awards, which was the equivalent of Grammys.
Right, here in Buffalo.
Yeah, so, and they actually had a single that was produced by Guru, Gangstar, rest in peace, and they flew to Simi Valley to shoot their video with the infamous Hughes brothers from Minister Society.
All right.
So he had his foot in the door, I say, in Buffalo. So that's different than being, national.
But that's more than a lot of people here have done. Some people have been in like studios, but have never either been on the radio here.
Yeah.
Which is a big feat. We'll talk about that later. Getting on the air on WBOK.
Yeah.
So is that where you got your start at Shawboy Records, or did you start?
Oh no,
before that?
I actually did stuff before that, dating back to like '93 when we all kind of when Buffalo was like a mecca of hip hop, Upstate Click and Insomniacs crew.
Right.
Everybody had their own. We were the true tribe, so that's when I started to do music. We brought up it's the music of our time, our culture, and pretty much I say I got my start '93. Started to take it seriously in '95.
Okay.
And that was pretty much the genesis of everything.
So once you started taking it seriously, you had a pretty good sized studio in Black Rock.
Yes.
Tell me about that. Did you learn anything from doing that?
Oh yeah, I learned engineering. I learned beat production, which I dabbled in. I worked with DJ Warlock, and I kind of soaked up everything from everywhere. That's what I tell a lot of young people. Soak up your environment, because it's better that you know everything has to do with it, not just writing a nice 16 or banging out a nice beat or whatever. You should know everything. But that's when I learned engineering, the early stages, and pretty much beat production, and even how to perform in the studio, because a lot of people can rap, a lot of people can spit, and they're fierce. Then they get in the studio and they don't have breath control. They're kind of overwhelmed. They can't hear themselves. They're listening for themselves. So it was a lot that being in a studio on a daily basis could teach you about being a more rounded artist.
That's like the kid that can go on the basketball court in the playground and look like Jordan, but then you put him in a uniform and on a team, and he can't do anything.
You can't do anything. You don't know the rules. You don't know what you can
Exactly.
do, what you can't do.
A lot of people, have talent that can sing or can rap, but will never make a good recording artist because they don't know what's involved with recording.
Like the basketball player that you just said, a lot of them, you don't have coaches in the street. You have your boys yelling, ooh, ah. So to have to listen to a coach, I've had people come to record here, and you tell them you're doing something wrong, or or try it this way. And they're like, man, what do you mean? This is my stuff. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. You know, but like I say, if anyone who's been in the workforce, you have a boss. Your boss might have a boss. There's boundaries and limits on it. Not to take away from the artistic integrity of what they're doing, but actually to just set some structure, boundaries, and guidelines for what you have to do.
That's like I like in a recording session to a over long distance trip. 5 of us get in the car. We all might have driver's licenses, but only one of us can drive the car at a time.
Exactly.
So it just feels because I got a driver's license, I mean, I'm trying to tell you, put my hand on the wheel and steer the car.
But you have somebody in your back seat talking about turn that way, you're going too fast, whatever. Backseat driver. There's a lot of backseat driver artists. It's a lot of artists that I honestly shouldn't be doing this, but they don't have anyone around them telling them that. And you might say, who are you to say that they shouldn't be doing this? And I'll say, if people locally in any locale could get their stuff out to the mainstream, that's when you get a real feedback for what you're doing. Because your boy's gonna tell you it's hot. Oh, that's hot. My man did this. It's hot. It's hot. Then you get out on a kind of like a national, the national grid, and the numbers aren't there. The oohs aren't there. The ahs aren't there. Because you really wasn't that good. So be honest, everybody. Stop lying to your boy.
Man. You go back to the you said 95. That's in the late 80s, early 90s. This is a time when I was kind of doing a lot of time in the studio when I was really learning the craft myself. And you go to two things. I'm going to go back to you mentioned Warlock.
Yes.
At that time, to me, the 2 best hip hop producers in the city, and somebody's gonna take offense to this. I already know.
No, they're not.
I already know that there's gonna be somebody gonna say, "What about me?" When I say, to me at that time, the 2 best hip hop producers in the city were Kid Code and Warlock.
Yep, exactly.
If Kid Code and Warlock were the 2, to me, were the 2 hottest hip hop producers at that time.
And everything ran out of them too.
Man, and I mean, there may have been somebody else doing it, but I didn't hear about it. I was pretty involved and I was pretty immersed in it at the time.
Yeah.
So.
And it's a funny story because you were either on Team Warlock or Team Kid Cole. Like everybody that did music was either affiliated with Kid Cole or Warlock. Some people were blessed to be, intertwined in both of those camps.
I just happened to know them both. I didn't work in either of the studios, but I knew both of them.
Yeah. And like I say, that was a lot of food for thought. Soaking up being around Warlock. Learning that this is more than music. It's like a famous quote for his is, I don't listen to lyrics. So it used to be a lot of arguments in the studio with myself and other artists about how are you telling me what's good and what's bad when you say you don't listen to lyrics. And he said, I'm a DJ. He said, I know when I drop that needle in the club, I know how a crowd reacts. He knows
what it's supposed to sound like.
Yes, exactly.
He knows what's going to get a crowd reaction and what's not.
Exactly.
Now, I used to go to both their studios, and Kid Code had a lot of equipment. Warlock had just a few pieces of equipment.
Minimal.
However, the quality from both was
exactly.
Warlock, he really was a freaking Warlock with what he did, what he had.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, how do you get this sound out of what you got?
Yeah.
And he knows how to do it.
It was a classic
he made some hot stuff.
Equipment junkie as opposed to a DJ.
Yeah.
Like being older than most of these young brothers out here, him included. A DJ
20. All right.
A DJ would have 2 crates, and he'd probably have 7 or 8 people with him with crates of records, and that's how they set up anywhere and everywhere. Now people got a laptop, a MIDI controller, and they call themselves producers.
Or even their little
flash drive.
Flash drives. No, before that was the iPad.
Oh yeah.
Before
exactly.
that, there was a little thing. I
Yes.
never got one, but
me neither.
But I saw people would plug them in and play their whole music off of it.
No, like
I know
Kid Cole had everything. He had all this equipment. He had everything. And I remember, this is funny, because I remember when Warlock bought his first DAT player, when DATs became big.
Yeah.
And it's just like we recorded the world in that DAT player. Like, he know how to manipulate. He knew how to manipulate the stuff he had. But a lot of people wouldn't know that he had such minimal equipment because of the sound that was coming out.
Exactly.
But it was about the music with him, though. It wasn't about looking a certain way. He had he had invested in a warehouse on Walden. It was an old hardware store. He moved the studio in there, and a lot of people I know in the town would have got it renovated, paint, this and that. Warlock never did anything. He moved the nuts and screws out the way, set his equipment up, and we recorded albums worth of material back in 2000 in that place. And when I seen him recently, it's funny. He still has that DAT player and all the tapes, and he was like, "Oh, I gotta take this somewhere and clean it up or whatever." And I'm like, "You should clean that DAT player up." You know, it looked like they pulled it out of a vacuum cleaner bag.
And there's another guy who went to, I forgot the name, Madhouse Studios, I think it was called. He had a DAT player too. Mm-hmm. So if you had some old DATs, like I have a DAT that was I was recording a song at the studio from West End Communications.
Yeah.
They had a studio back there over on Niagara Street.
Yeah.
In the middle of the session, recording, I go back, can't reach anymore. I finally go up there and say, "Oh, he went back to New York." Went back to New York in the middle of my shit. So I got this DAT tape. I had to find somebody that has a DAT player. So I put it away.
Yeah, a DAT player, 4-track recorder. If you had an 8-track recorder, you were great. You would consider that was the equivalent of like a 64-track now. But even with that, knowing how to manipulate a 4-track to 16 tracks, that's what we do. This is hip hop. It started out, like I said, with 2 turntables and a microphone. There was no dancers in the back. It wasn't lighting.
Yeah, you said you told a DJ and talk about where a mixtape came from, where that term, because that's such a misused term right now to me.
Yes.
I get sick of it. So I hear somebody say, "My mixtape is coming out." Tell people what a mixtape is.
A mixtape originally started from the DJs in the block party. They would tape everything that went on that night. They were mixing their songs. They were blending songs. I know this is like dinosaurs, everybody, but they blended songs. It's almost like your favorite songs on the radio. They would put on a tape, and that's the tape that circulated around everywhere. Yeah,
because the way they mixed it, and that scratching, and the mixing, and the way they blended, you weren't going to get that unless you were at that party. And if you were at that party, and like, man, I want to hear it again. And he would record it, and he would sell you a copy of the tape he made of that mix.
He would probably be the only person you hear who vocals was on there saying, get this party started. You might have his man or a couple people from the neighborhood that came in and wanted to spit over a break beat. And that was the equivalent of that. Now in this day and age, everybody say, "Hey, I'm gonna take the hottest songs out now, all 30 of them, and I'm gonna rap over all of them, and I'm not gonna mix it properly. My new mixtape. Here go my new mixtape. Check out my new mixtape."
Every time I try to get somebody to explain to me, what are you calling a mixtape? What is it? And versus an album. And some people that I'm cool with, they tell me that, and they might watch this and might want to have some words with me. But you release the album, and then you say, "Now I'm going to release my mixtape." What the fuck is the difference?
Yeah.
In your mind,
exactly.
Between your album and your mixtape.
Like
because there's no DJ on it.
Tapes don't even come out no more.
So and I'm not the first one to bring this up. So apparently it came out because now I have people saying it's my mixtape hosted by DJ so-and-so.
Yes.
So apparently they said, to make it truly a mixtape, you gotta have a DJ on there. So we'll have someone hosting, and I'm like, okay, well, are they mixing it on there, or are they just on there putting their voice on there?
And that put the DJ back in the forefront where the DJ started. The DJ was the original producer.
Exactly. If you those groups that had rappers, every single last one of them, the DJ's name came first, and then the rapper.
DJ Jazzy
Jeff and Fresh Prince. It was not Will Smith's name first over Jazz. It was DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
Because the DJs were famous. The DJs did 5-6 shows a week. They killed the weekend, and the rapper was almost like the sidekick.
Well, their whole job was to get people hyped, to really be the hype man. Mm-hmm. To get people up. They're talking and they're trying to get you to the party. Come on, get up to the floor.
Busy B. That's where he started.
So and that is kind of where getting on the mic in front of them came by. Mm-hmm. Where the DJ died, unfortunately, all the DJs that become producers died.
Yes.
And in Buffalo, the two hot DJs that became producers were Kid Cole and Warlock.
Yes. They
were first DJs.
Yes.
I saw, as a matter of fact, I remember being in Kid Cole's studio when it was gonna be called the Battle of the Kids.
Yeah.
When they were bringing Kid Capri here.
Okay.
And it was gonna be a battle. It was the show was being billed as a battle of the kids. Kid Capri didn't know that he was it was a battle. He thought he was just coming to do a show.
Yeah.
So his cousin lives here and called and said, "Yo, you ready for this battle, man? Everybody's talking about this battle." He said, "Battle." So he kind of had backed out.
Yeah.
But Kid Coach showed me something he was gonna show me the thing he was gonna do.
Yeah.
I was watching his hands. If you've ever seen a TV show called The Bionic Man,
Oh yes.
his hands were moving. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I was there going, man.
Actually, I got a story about Warlock. I wasn't there. I've heard it from my uncle. I don't know who he was battling. It was a big DJ. There's been several stories. You know how the folklore is.
Yeah.
Some people said Jam Master Jay, Kid Capri. It was a lot of people. I
They
don't know
just
who
got
he
out
was
there. I don't know if they
battling.
were the best. They just got out there.
But they said the brother lit poured alcohol on the turntable and was cutting up the song Fire, Fire.
Okay.
And they said, like you said, Bionic Man in the flame turntable, cutting that up. And I'm sure he won the battle. That's what everybody.
Yeah.
And then like maybe 10, 15 years later, I'm sitting in front of this brother in awe. You're DJ Warlock, you know.
Okay.
And he's like, who the hell are you? And you know, after that he became like my Dr. Dre, to say, my go-to guy. And actually, hopefully we'll get a reunion soon.
No, those don't know Warlock. There's Warlock and then there's his
Warlock.
baby Warlock, his nephew.
Yeah.
Not to be, so some people may not know the Warlock and may not know there was two of them. There's Warlock and then his nephew, Baby Warlock.
And a lot of people, the club killer, DJ Spin, a lot of people thought DJ Spin was Baby Warlock.
Okay.
You know, that wasn't in the know. But DJ Spin, he was a baby coming up under the wings, and now he's one of the biggest DJs in the city right now.
Okay.
Real DJ too. That brother can really DJ.
Now-
Shout out to Kenny Cuts too.
Now here's the thing that to get going to the equipment as to why the DJ died. One of the things you mentioned is instead of having DJ, I go now to parties and events, and I see dudes with these programs and this equipment that make it that anybody can mix with.
Anyone.
All you gotta do is pick the next song you want, and the computer will automatically blend it and mix it and make
Yes.
it. Make it, and you can even make it seem like you're scratching with that thing.
All you need is a music library.
So-
It's
so-
software now.
Yeah, so that kind of the DJ kind of got phased out with the automation, just like they had the robots that build the cars. They had automation that you can put the program in and set it up in advance, pick the songs,
Yeah.
and it'll run the whole program. All you gotta do is stay there, look like you're doing something.
Exactly.
No.
Like you say, software, the makeshift CD disc. Like I see it on Facebook a lot. A lot of real DJs,
Yeah.
people who are in the know, was like, they call them, I want to say PCJs or something.
Oh, okay.
They're personal computer jockeys.
Man.
Where like they say they have a big music library. They might have go to Guitar Center, pay $79, get you on a makeshift turntable, and you got a music library. So you got a computer and you got a controller, and they're DJs now. And I'm like, they don't know the history or
Right.
anything
And
about it.
it used to be that when somebody was throwing a party, the very first question they asked you was, "Who is
Who was
the
the
DJ?
DJ?
What DJ did you get?" If it was some, and there's some DJs, and I'm not gonna say this DJ's name because I don't want him trying to sue me or going some
Yeah.
crazy stuff. But anybody our age will remember that this particular DJ, when they said, because I know there were 3 parties in specific that we didn't go to because he was the DJ, and.
Yeah. Oh,
This
I
D-
know what you're talking about.
This DJ has been on BOK. He's famous now. Locally, well, I say famous because everybody. If I say his name, everybody in Buffalo, everybody would know it.
Yes.
And I'm fighting back to say his name.
Okay.
But
Cool.
but I'm gonna tell you.
Oh, yes. Just seen him yesterday.
There were 3 parties that we didn't go to because he was going to be the DJ. I said, "Oh no, man, we did something else that night."
Yes.
And because the DJ made the party.
Exactly.
So now they became producers.
And that's even funny because that brother just now is kind of making a name for himself. When someone say, "Do you know such and such?"
And it's because he's the last man standing. It's because he's still standing. He's still doing it.
Yeah.
Stayed in the game. That's everybody else said it was good.
Yeah.
Had to get jobs, whatever. And
Yeah, and act like you said, he worked at his craft also.
Yeah.
I give him that because he's been doing this for a very long
Oh,
time.
and let me tell you. Okay,
Yeah.
I have seen him recently. As a matter of fact, I was at an event recently and I watched him. He's improved.
Yes.
He was doing it.
But you should though. You can shoot free throws.
But
20 years.
after if you keep throwing the rock up, it's gonna go in eventually.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that's how it is with hip hop also with rappers. Keep spitting, keep trying. Now, I'm a songwriter, and I've written maybe 3 raps.
Yeah.
And the first couple of ones I wrote were corny as hell. So I've written 3 that had people see that rap. So okay.
Yeah.
But this is out of I've written over 450 songs. But it's hip hop. It's not an easy thing to do.
No, it's not.
It's not an easy thing. First of all, to come up with the words and the phrases, the whole thing, the whole
concept,
the whole thing. Like I tell you a song that I heard recently that I was really impressed by. That as a songwriter, I was like, wow. I don't even know who did it. Something about the Revenge of the Return of the Machine. Something to do with the Big Evil Machine or something. It blew up and turned into a bunch of little ones.
Okay.
They played it on the radio a couple of times. It didn't get a lot of spin.
Yeah.
But they played it a couple of times. I'm gonna look it up now. By the time this airs, I'll play a little sample of it on the thing. But I think it was. I remember the story. That's why, and I know he was going to go fight the dude. And he said some from Warlock came to the other side in a spaceship.
Yeah.
And they went back in time. Yeah. And he came back. He said, I need some machine. He came to do. Said, I'll be back in a few seconds. Came back with a gun that had one button. He pressed it, and the big machine, which was a big TV screen. His head was a big TV screen, and blew into a bunch of them.
Okay. I gotta research that too.
They were played on the radio
recently.
Yeah. Okay. Well, not this year. Probably I haven't heard it much this year. It was last year into early this year. But conceptually, I'm thinking of somebody like Cudi because he's very creative like that. Kid Cudi. It was. I don't even know. I have to look it up. But but I know it's something to do with the. I'm trying. I feel like it was one of those. What's that? One of those dudes that I can't think of his name now. But I'm gonna look it up. Okay. I'm looking it up going. And just to be fair to all the people that have hosted my show, I'm not gonna edit this part out. Everybody's gonna see me sitting here.
Raw.
That's how it's. I usually don't cut out stuff like that.
Okay.
So now y'all can see why I don't host this show. But what I was saying with that is that you got to give props to somebody that can really come up with some creative lyrics, and in addition to that, make them rhyme and remember them. Because the average lyric content of a rap compared to a singing song is almost like 3 or 4 times the number of lyrics.
Exactly.
And so for someone to be able to memorize that, and that's impressive.
Exactly. That's why I say, like, I always pride myself as an artist with creativity, because taking what you just said, listening to all this new stuff that's on the radio that's going on, I can't even give a lot of these new artists credit because their stuff is so like juvenile that kids remember, because it really 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. There's nothing creative about it.
The shit is so repetitive, you find yourself singing that whack shit sometimes.
Actually, you don't even like a song. There's songs I don't even like.
Well, that actually speaks to the industry and marketing.
Oh, big time.
The way that they get you to, you don't have to like this brand of water, but if every time you turn around and putting this water in front of you and you're thirsty, you eventually are going to be asking for it.
And you're thirsty, yeah.
I mean, there's songs that I hated that I find myself knowing lyrics to and singing because at least between the time I leave the house and the time I get to work, I've heard it maybe 2 times.
About from the time that I'm almost getting off work and the time maybe 9, 10 o'clock, I've heard, like you said, this brand of water like 10 times. And I'm talking from 4 to 10. And these are different DJs that are on the radio.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing that I discovered. And over the years, I've had, I'm going to say, 7 different friends of mine. And when I say friends of mine, people that I already knew or that through working in this industry locally that I got to know, and we became friends. I've had 7 different friends that were DJs on BOK,
Okay.
and none of them were able to play any of my music or anybody that worked in my studio's music on the air because that decision is not made by the DJ.
Exactly.
What the radio still plays on, and I say they play on it. They try to keep making us think that that's how it happens. It used to be that the DJ decided what song was going to be played.
Exactly.
Just like at a party, a DJ would decide on the radio. The DJ decided what song was going to be played.
They knew it was hot.
That has changed now. The program director decides that.
Yeah.
And in the case of a station like BOK, which is now owned by a company that's national, the program director receives a playlist from corporate, and they decide, and it's already decided for what they're going to play.
Yeah.
All the program director does is decide, okay, when it's going to be played.
Yeah, I told him that because there's no way that we hear like regional artists, like not even saying what's whack or whatever, from Gucci to Slim Thug to Kendrick Lamar, even people that are regionally
I think
somewhere else.
was Kendrick Lamar.
Could be. Oh,
I
could
think
be.
that's the name I was trying to think of. I think it might have been.
Okay. Oh well. Yeah. Bravo. I give him much props.
But
But like you say, the program director,
Yeah.
they get this stuff. It's national now, and they tell them this is what we're gonna play. This is this is what we're doing. This is our agenda. Like pretty much until like if you listen to the top 7 at 7, it's the same for up to 3 weeks. Give and take. A new artist not a new artist, but a new song come in. Like at one point, Future, who I've grown to like as a songwriter. That brother's very creative. As a rapper,
You do what? Local Future or
no, Future.
National Future.
National Future.
Okay.
Like pretty much, I'm like this guy was on 6 of the 7 songs, and it was really like 8, 9 different artists within that 7. So I was like, realistically, are we that hot? Or this is what the program director say, this is what's going on. But after a while, it is the hottest thing because it's all you hear. And people conform to that. Not myself, but the masses do. They conform to that.
Well, it's not even their fault. As humans, one of the things that the advertising industry has discovered is that humans are really susceptible to certain things. Repetition is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
If I keep repeating it over and over.
Yeah.
That I want to get up. I'm going to get up. I'm going to get up. There's this comedian that said I forgot what it was. He said, like, I'm gonna keep saying it. By the time I finish, y'all gotta be saying this when you go home.
Yeah. Classic example. I ain't worried about nothing. Ain't worried about nothing. I hear that song every day, everywhere I go. Yeah. And
yeah, I don't even know who it's by. And when you said that, it just started playing in my head.
it won't be around next year. But it's disposable. Like everything in the last 10 years has been disposable. The people that are still relevant, to be honest with you, are the people that started, like in my generation, Busta Rhymes, the Jay-Z, Eminem, Lil Wayne from his Hot Boy. He's still relevant. These people are still relevant for a reason. And there's so many groups.
I'm even gonna throw LL Cool J and Will Smith in there because they've taken this game and moved higher, moved into film and television, and still can come back and release an album that people will buy.
Exactly.
People still will buy a Will Smith, a Fresh Prince album. People will still buy an LL Cool J album.
Because that's a true fan. They've grown with you. These artists are so microwavable these days. Their fan base can't grow with them. Classic example, Chief Keef. He had over 47 million YouTube fans. And his album comes out and he sold less than 100,000 units. And people go, okay, it's the gift and the curse. Downloading, stealing music, all of that. But a true fan buys your music. Yeah. I've come to find that out. A true fan will ride with you and grow with you. And there are no true fans no more because there are no true artists.
Well, yes, that's right. No one's really whole. They're all. It's kind of on the plastic side. And I say plastic, they're. Actually, the industry has always been that way. It's always been that the record industry, record labels, they're not looking for artists to sign. Somewhere around the 60s and 70s, they stopped that. And the groups to look at in that are what they call the super groups: Earth, Wind and Fire, Heat Wave, Chic, Brass Construction,
Ivy Brothers.
all those groups that had like 8 to 9 people, they discovered that people couldn't get to know the whole group. So the leader of all those groups broke off and released their own solo project. Philip Bailey went solo. The dude from the Isley Brothers went solo. From Cameo,
Larry Blackman.
What's the other? There's another. I believe me, I really know those names. It's just been a while.
Yeah, Joey Wiley.
Yeah.
You know?
So they started looking. They stopped, say around the '80s. They stopped looking for groups and started looking for hit singles.
It was called artist development. It cost too much money to develop artists, and like my remedy to that would be to get artists, creative, artists that like we just talked about, Kendrick Lamar. Fortunately enough for him, he was brought into a machine, and they told him, do what you did. Like the industry's sort of catching up. Do whatever you did to get all those fans on YouTube and Twitter and all of that, and we'll put it out. And that's what they did. But there are no A&R men no more. And
That's
YouTube, Twitter, the social media. That's the new A&R, because if something's hot on there, they'll put it in. If it don't work, industry they writes it off, and that person will probably put out a mixtape next year.
Now to bring people to speed, everyone's heard A&R before, which stands for Artists and Repertoire. The way the music industry used to work is that you used to have to perform at the right club, and they would send people out scouting for new talent. And so an A&R guy would be at a club and hear you perform and go, oh wow, and would come up to you offering you an audition.
Yep.
And then you would come and you might get a contract out of that. It doesn't work that way anymore. Those A&R guys can sit right at their desk and have a stack of demo tapes that have been sent in to them. So now they're not looking through these tapes for artists who, this looks like a great artist. They're listening for a song that could be a hit song.
Yeah,
So,
and like you say,
that's why in the 80s they created was kind of the creation of the one-hit wonders.
Yeah.
When you hear them talk about one-hit wonders, it's not because those guys didn't have any other songs. It's because that's the only song they wanted from them.
This is the only song that can generate currency for us.
Yeah, you come to me and I hear 3 songs. I like song number 2.
Yeah.
Okay, that has a snappy beat. I think we can sell that song.
Okay, yeah.
After people stop listening to that song, we no longer need you.
No, we don't.
Because
and
he has a song, and that's all they're looking for, hit songs. And
that's why we call it like now it's microwave.
Exactly.
Back then it was kind of I call it easy bake oven. Put it in whatever. Now it's microwave. It takes 1 minute.
Yeah.
Put it in there.
Bang, and you're gone.
And I can name like 5 groups from the last pretty much 5 to 10 years that were there for those 6 months. And then there was another group that sounded like that. Then the sound changed to crunk. Then it changed to hyphy. Then it changed to trap and all that. But like I say, one thing that stays consistent is a good artist. You have to be able to be a chameleon in this day and age.
To be able to roll those punches, you got to be able to change.
Yes.
I'll go to LL Cool J for that. That's one of the reasons I think he survived. Every time the industry changed, he changed with it.
Yes, he did.
When he was rapping, when that fast tongue rapping was out, he did it picked it up, did it like it was nothing.
Yep, because he's a true MC. He can do that. He did it. Busta Rhymes, classic example. He's done been through so many record labels, so many camps, and he's still relevant. You know why? Because he makes good music. He's a chameleon.
So anybody who's been watching this whole thing here, listen to this whole conversation, can kind of tell who our favorite artists are.
Yeah, we keep name dropping.
we keep having the same names.
It's only 5 or 6.
Y'all keep name dropping. I'm just taking up jewels. I wasn't around when none of this was out.
But the thing is, you are out, and you are who the industry is after.
Yeah.
They're not. I'm 48. You're
40.
40. You're 20.
Yeah.
You're the one that they're looking after. They're not. They figure I don't spend money on records. They think that you are, and they keep. But unfortunately, they keep going from who they think spends the money.
Yeah.
And they keep doing these surveys and studies and trying to figure out how can we get money, because really the industry is choking. You ever see somebody in quicksand?
Yes.
You don't know what quicksand? Look up quicksand. QUICK sand, and see what happens to you when you walk into some quicksand. That's what's happening to the record industry, because, and to tell you the one device that changed the game completely, that changed the need for studios that allowed you to have quality sound in home studios that changed, that made the major impact in the recording industry was the invention of the CD burner.
Exactly.
If you think it was any other device, do your homework. The CD, when the CD burner came out, that is what created the or lack of a need to go to a major studio, because now anything that you had in a whole room, you now have in Cakewalk or Reason or Cubase or any of these computer software. Because and then after you get the sound the way you want it, you can burn a copy of it, a master copy of it right there, and have it, versus having to go through a recording session and have the big 24 track or 32 track tapes and mix them down to 2 and all that, and these big machines.
Exactly.
So those right there. What is that program? Is that
Adobe.
Okay, Adobe. That's a multi-track recording program, and you guys can't see it, but look up Adobe. Because usually I would be able to, as a cameraman, I would be able to take the camera and show you, but look it up.
Yeah.
You've seen, if you've been in recording studios before, you've seen these, any one of these.
Yeah, they're called DAW, Digital Audio Workstation.
Exactly.
And there's so many of them, and like I said, they eliminate the Kid Code Studio. I saw 20 pieces of equipment in Kid Code Studio, and those 20 pieces are on Reasons right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever one you got, 3, 4, 5, you got a whole studio. I remember the days having to help carry equipment, help setting up for parties. Now, plug in your laptop. Yeah. You're good.
Yeah, you got a
gift
hard
and a
drive.
curse.
Hard drive.
Gift and a curse. That's what it is.
You went back with the Kid Code. Let me go to another issue. If you've watched this show before, you've seen I have a segment where I put on there information about a website called Covenant with Black America, and there are 10 covenants that are there. One of them is closing the racial digital divide. What that is referring to is access of non-whites to not only the technology but the knowledge of it. I already know that there are plenty of black folks that know this stuff. I know it because I have a background in electronics and in audio. Doing this show is new to me. My background is in studio recording, audio engineer, audio production. Many times I worked for Indigo Productions out at Melody Fair as a stage tech when they had the contract out there. So we would set up the equipment for the bands, and then when they were done, break it down and pack it back in the truck.
Good job within this
Oh yeah, we start 10 o'clock in the morning. The 18-wheelers would get there. We take all the equipment down. By the time we finish setting up, it's like maybe 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Then we eat dinner because they had a kitchen out there. The show would start. They do the show. We would be there till like maybe 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, break it down and pack it back up before the band is on its way off. Groups that you would know that I work with that did the show for it was when Patti LaBelle came out there and Kirk Franklin. Yeah. The rest of them were mostly country and western bands. There were, I think, one of the Temptation or one of those type groups came out there once too. But one of the things that I see is there when I go to concerts, I'm always looking to see who's working the lights, who's working the sound, who's running the wires, because that's where my expertise is at. And I rarely see people of color doing it.
Never.
So now, if you go to anytime you see a concert and you see a guy back there mixing the board, go and ask him. You don't have to take my word for it. Go and ask him what his background is, where he learned that from. Out of 10 people that you talk to, maybe 2 or 3 might say they went to school for it. Yeah. All the rest of them are going to say that they interned. They work just like he's interning under him and learning under him. That's how they learn that stuff. And so it's not a matter of us going to school and getting the knowledge, because we have the knowledge. Yeah. I know you do, because I've seen your studio. I've seen your full blown studio. Exactly. And the guy you met yesterday, Ice. The guy if you go to on our website right now, you see Fonz Carter. You see his studio. I see. They're Kid Code, Warlock. I can name oogobs of people. If you've watched this show over the last 8 years of studios we've been in, these guys know this stuff. So it's not that we don't know it.
Yeah.
So a lot of the fact that we're not working in those aspects of the industry is because is being allowed.
Exactly.
So it's kind of changing. So that's why it's great that the CD burner came along, so that we don't have to try to enter in recording studios like here, Select Sound, or Trackmasters with and Audio Magic, which I got a story about Audio Magic.
Yeah.
I don't know if Audio Magic is still around, but
I haven't heard
Black
that in so long. Yeah.
they,
But like you said, so many of them popped up.
man.
You know, so now you're not getting like $700 for a 12-hour block. You know who I'm talking to. They was raping us, man. They was raping us.
Man.
They was giving us bad mixes and everything.
It's not even giving you mixes. You pay for 8 hours. You could spend that whole 8 hours just twirling knobs.
Yep.
And and get smoke blown up your ass about what's going to sound right now. Well, come back another 8 hours, and we'll make this release sound good.
They were raping us. They were raping us, and I understand it. I don't knock them. They had a hustle.
Yeah.
But I could never do that. Like you said, this brother has never paid me 1 cent to record anything, to do anything, and he kind of just came in like, I want to say like off the street, you know, through a coworker. Hey, this is my people's.
Yeah.
He rap. I know you got a studio. And here we are 5-6 years later. You know, I can imagine how much he's learned up until now.
That was a great segue. Introducing him. Can you move your show? Tell us about, what is your name again?
Sean Quillis.
John Quillis?
Yeah,
Spell
Sean
it for
Quillis.
me.
JZONQELLIS.
Yeah, you're gonna write that down and I'm gonna put it under the screen so people can see it.
Yeah.
So it's
He goes through that a lot.
right. It's right there. So
Yeah.
you can see my finger. Okay, just look and see. Make sure. Okay, right there with my finger is where it's gonna be.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. We edit that part out, right?
No. I'm edited in.
Raw.
I'm
Okay,
gonna
I
add your name on top, right where my finger.
People
was.
done tried to change his name.
Okay.
We're going to call you Quells.
Everybody
We're going to call you Jay.
I'm Sean Quillis, plain and simple, man. People do that though.
So, and you say you're 20. So how long you been rapping?
Sounds like 9. I started taking it more serious around like 12, 13. You know when you're 9, you got older. Cause I don't know. I think I came up like in the perfect time almost. I wish I would have came up like in the era y'all came up in. Y'all talking about
Golden.
Yeah,
Platinum
yeah.
era. I love that.
I think I came up in the era where like my generation got the last of like the good music.
Well, good music is not something that just ended.
Yeah, I'm not
Good
gonna-
music, good music can always be made. You can always
Yeah.
make good music, or you can make some crap.
Yeah.
There was a lot of crap from back then. A
Yeah.
lot of crap. A lot of crap.
I don't know. Basically, I'm definitely. I could imagine. But nah, basically, let me rephrase that. What I meant to say is
You got to
Yeah,
dig
no.
through the rubble.
Yeah. Like I came in. I don't know. Like I came up as far as like when you figured DMX still had a little bit of a buzz. Ja Rule was hot. Method Man was still spitting here and there. A lot of Mary J. Blige records being played and stuff like that around the time I came up. And,
Good music.
BET had Freestyle Friday when the cats could actually rap. Like cats could actually rhyme or whatever. And, it was a lot of little stuff. You start to look at stuff. You start taking your own liking and stuff. And
Okay.
yo, he spit that rhyme like that. I wonder if I can construct a rhyme to come out either sounding like that or with that cadence.
Or I can
with
do
the
that
cadence of my
better.
own.
Well, what
that
made
too,
you
definitely.
hear somebody rapping the side? I want to see if I can do it. What made you think you could do this?
Ghostface, Shaky Dog.
Yeah.
Ghostface Killer, Shaky Dog.
Okay.
It's been a lot of cats on Ghostface, Boot Camp Click, Helter Skelter. He put me on Helter Skelter.
Okay.
Sean P. A lot of cats, man. I can go on. We'll be down here for 16
You know,
hours.
let me interrupt you for 1
Okay.
second. This is classic. Like, if you eat shit all day, candy and pop, and you're going to be extremely unhealthy. It's funny because this brother is soaked up. Like when he said it, you know, the good music is gone out or dying out or whatever. The people he just mentioned, the stuff that he grew up on before I knew him or anything. You know, he had a healthy diet of good music, hip hop, R&B, everything.
That's a really good analogy.
And it reflects. It reflects what he does.
Yeah.
Because when I first heard this brother, I was sitting there with my jaw dropped down,
Yeah.
like, wow, because he reminded me of people that he couldn't possibly know. You know, and I'm sitting here. This is one thing about Buffalo. We got this sweet soul. There's no unity around, whatever. But I know a lot of brothers that turned his brother away or said, we got to do something together, and the beats
never
were
did
given,
it.
and they never did it, didn't answer their phone calls, didn't check their emails, they texted, and I'm like, that is sucker shit to me, you know?
That
because-
that unity thing, I'll expand. I want to have you on again so we can talk about a lot of social issues. One of the reasons we don't have a lot of unity here in the North is because in the South, black folks had to stay together because they
Where I'm
had,
from.
by law, they had the separate but equal laws. You couldn't go to a white store, you had to go to a black store, so you had to support black folks. Up north, black folks had the assumption, had the illusion of freedom. We thought we're in the North, we don't have the same problems. And so black folks didn't stick together as much here. They thought the ideal of success for people in the North, and if I'm offending you, hey, the ideal of success for so many people is to move on the other side of Eggert and say, I live in Cheektowaga, or I live in Amherst, or to move to the fucking Allenhurst project and say, I live out in Amherst, I live in the suburbs.
Buffalo's the third poorest, the 11th crime, and I'm
But
sitting here
the
like,
fifth most racially segregated
yes, exactly.
in the country. So,
And we're doing this.
and we're doing it to ourselves. Buffalo is primary. If you wonder why they're letting Byron Brown, and so I'm not going to get to everything, why they're letting Byron Brown be the mayor again, and I'm not going to say who's letting them be the mayor again, but if you see who's not running against them, it's because they want him up there to make it look like we still run things. Because really, the population of black folks outweighs everybody in the city right now. Now they can go and try and change it, but they're working on it. That's called gentrification. We're going to talk about gentrification on another issue. So go back. I just had to throw that in there.
I'm really the best, right? This what they want. This what they want. This what they want. This what.
Yeah, we can work that out later. What time you coming through? Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I'll just be getting home around that time. No problem. You do the same for me one of these days. Alright then. Yeah, I'll catch up with you later. Right, deuces. Got this nigga.
Alright, man. See you soon. Yes, sir. Whew. Yes.
So what was that all about?
That was my man, Ice. He just came to the rescue.
Came to the rescue? What do you mean by that?
Man, he gonna let me finish Angela demo at his joint.
Wasn't all of your music and everything in your computer? How will you ever get all that work done again in somebody else's studio?
That's the beauty of working at Ice's joint. He got all the same programs on his computer that I have on mine.
Okay, I don't get it. How does that help you? You still have to sit and re-record all of that music you spent all the time working on. Isn't all that stuff lost now?
It would be, if it wasn't for Chris.
Chris, your cousin?
Yep,
And what's this?
it's a flash drive.
I know what a flash drive is. What does it have to do with your studio?
Remember when the crackhead broke into my cousin's house and stole all his shit?
Yeah, that's when you and Zach first went and got your own stuff, but...
My man Raphael, the TI guy, told me I should get a flash drive and save all my programs onto that. So if I'm at somebody else's studio, I could just load it right up. And if my system crashes, I don't lose anything. I'm so glad I listened to that motherfucker. Besides that, all the beats are in the drum machine. I took that to work with me to finish the beats for Randy.
Oh. I never thought about that.
Well, I gotta get organized. It's gonna be different working somewhere else.
And I gotta get up to the station.
Oh yeah. Yo, I was listening to your show last night. What happened after that one song went off? It was like dead silent for 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah. I thought I had more time. I was in the newsroom talking to somebody.
Who? That Vaughn nigga?
No, it was not Vaughn. He wasn't even there. Well, he was there, but I was talking to somebody else.
Yeah, I bet that.
Oh, David, you are so jealous of my career. I just cannot believe you.
Career? What career? You don't even have a time slot. You're the fill-in DJ on the number 2 black station in a city that only has 2 black stations. That's AM at that. What am I supposed to be jealous of?
Alright, now first, you gotta convert your files. What version did you have on your computer?
I don't even remember. I think it was called Beats in the Box Studio Edition.
Alright, now they got 3 different versions of it. They got the gold version, the silver version, and the platinum version. What color was the package? If you can remember.
Yeah, I think it was the silver version because I remember it being a silver box with a mixing board on it.
Try to get you to update that whole studio.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Besides, man, I did an upgrade one other time, and man, it just wound up messing everything up. Had my computer moving slow. My customers were complaining because they had to pay more for studio time. I didn't want to go through that again.
Nigga, that's your fault. Besides, it ain't much of a difference in the way it works.
Yeah, but they moved some things around, and it wasn't how I remembered, and just, man, wound up messing everything up for me, man. Basically, some computer geek moved some stuff around, make it look like he was doing his job, and man, could have saved me the headache, man.
Well, fortunately for you, silver files can be converted to the gold files, and the gold files, they can be converted to the platinum files. Just like that.
Makes perfectly good sense to me.
All right, all done here. Just remember to save them as the platinum files and not the gold files when you're ending the session, okay?
All right, cool.
All right.
Hold up, bro. You gotta get up, bro. Producer seat, nigga.
Oh, man, there you go with that shit.
Hey, you already know. I don't even know why you sat down in the first place.
Man, I can't tell the difference,
Scoot
man.
over.
Alright.
Oh, it's a good thing your client running late. It took a little longer than I thought it would.
Man, that ain't a good thing at all. My bad it's taking so long, man. I'm thinking about that shit right now. I don't know where he at, but
It's cool. Man, don't even worry about it. Gave me a chance to learn the whole beats in the box thing.
word.
Alright, you go straight to the back and make a left and you'll be in the studio area.
Perfect timing. What's good? You ain't that shit?
Yes, this is my client who was an hour late.
Mato, I am so sorry. I had to pick up Gina from work.
It's my fault. A patient wet herself after I already changed her and had to wait for an ambulance for another patient. I'm so sorry.
Don't even worry about it. Yo, we just got something set up anyway.
You know exactly what he did here. Please, have a seat.
Yo, let's just get this session started, man. We already running late, but we can catch up on time. Yo, pull up that Cocaine Blues file right there.
Cocaine Blues. Yes, sir. Is that right there?
Yeah.
try to keep your voice in this general area. Now, you ain't got to be stiff, but try to keep your voice directed towards the mic. All right?
Okay, I got it.
All right, she ready to go.
I just want to go over this one change.
Okay.
Yeah. Didn't you used to bone that bitch?
That's her. So you could imagine the drama when she walked in last week.
Oh, damn. Was Robin there?
Yo, she just came as they was leaving.
And all of a sudden your shit missing.
Kim, and I don't even want to talk about it, man.
Damn, homie. Alright, so you ain't recording none of the verses. How's she gonna know her cue?
She know when to come.
Cool.
When the track come on, you go here, but-don't, then that's when the hook come in.
Okay.
Ready?
Let's go.
You do.
That's not it.
What's not it? What's the problem?
That's not what I had. I just need you to do it the way I asked you to do it.
Well, I tried. I don't want to sing this anyway.
You can't just sing it for me. I'm just asking you to sing one little part for me.
I told you I'd rather rap it than sing it.
Again with the rap thing?
I wrote something to it last night.
But that's not what I'm asking you to do. We can do that a different time. I'm just needing you to do this right here, just right now.
I don't want to sing.
Easy.
Always do.
Easy. Now, let's see what's up with it.
This not being on my tab, by the way, if this go down.
Anyway,
Somebody gonna pay for it.
I'll pay for it.
Alright, that settles it.
I wrote a little bit. It's in my phone, so. You good?
Yeah, this is when you're ready.
Okay. It was all a dream, inspired by Missy and Biggie. This fire within me can burn up a city. Through the pain and the struggle, remain on my hustle. Cause it's a known fact that this game don't love you. Listen for the passion when I speak. You gotta start from the bottom before you relaxing on the beach. We out here trying to eat, but it ain't enough to go around. Dreams are just that, and these crabs will try to pull you down. Can't trust anyone, they out here lying. These dudes selling dreams, but I ain't buying. I'ma be unsigned till my talent is proven. So like U-Haul, I gotta keep it moving.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Damn good stuff.
Try. What do you think?
Chill.
Yeah. What?
Guess who?
Come on. Yeah. What?
It's Tully.
Yeah.
What up? Oh, it's been a long time. Miss being home though. I really do. Yo, when they heard this is what they said though. This is what they said. It was like, it's about time. Tell, welcome back. You put it down real nice. Welcome, Matt. Good looks for show. It's what I do.